Majority Report with Sam SEDER.
The destiny of America is always safer in the hands of the people than in the conference rooms of any elite.
Sam SEDER.
They are unanimous in their hate for me, and I welcome their hatred.
We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
The Majority Report with Sam SEDER.
Ever get the feeling you've been cheated?
It is Wednesday, November 13th, 2019. This is a special report, special coverage of the launch of the public impeachment hearings of President Donald Trump in the House of Representatives, Capitol Hill, Washington, D.C., United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody is convening there right now. People are getting settled. They're taking pictures. They're making notes. It looks like they're still waiting for a lot of people. So let me just tell you what we're going to be doing today. Folks, we're going to be covering this. We're basically going to be streaming. I'm not going to do a lot of talking, although I might. I don't know. I really don't know what we're going to be doing here. So we'll check it out, and we will see. And then we're going to be covering this until the noon show, noon Eastern. And at which time we're going to make an assessment. Either way, we're going to sign off and restart the show. And we're going to make an assessment as to what's going on in the hearings at that time. Now, we can never know, what the deal is. But it appears as if the Democrats have made a concerted effort to make sure that the first hour of each person's testimony today, and we should say the testimony is coming from Bill Taylor, who was a former ambassador brought in by the Trump administration to basically be the only professional working, a diplomatic professional working in terms of Ukraine. He is the one who was sort of like the Serpico in this story, the guy who was not involved in this corruption and was like, hey, wait a second, what's going on here? For some reason, they thought that he would be down with it, I guess. Or they had Sondland dealing with him, and Sondland is a hotelier, so he probably assumed that he could deal with it. The other person who is going to be here is George Kent. And Kent is a... let me just pull this up here. Kent is a State Department official, and he is going to... speak to the fact that what the Trump administration really wanted from Ukraine was just say the words Clinton, Biden in 2016 in a press conference in the world, investigate. And then you get your money, and then you get to have your meeting with the president. And that was what we call in Latin, this for that. We call that, actually, that's English. In Latin, it's called a quid pro quo. In impeachment talk, that is what is known as a bribe. This for that. It can also be extortion, as it's sort of like you have this coming, but if you don't give me that, you won't get the other that. I guess it's a quid pro quid is an extortion. Is that what that right? Is it? Do we know that for a fact, or did I just make that up?
I think that's right.
I think I may have just made that up. And the Republicans, they're okay. So now you have the witnesses are coming in. That is Taylor, the first guy. Kent is the second guy. And they're going to get sworn in. They're going to testify. I don't know. Is this being covered? Can we check and see who's covering this and who's not? I mean, back in the day, this would have been on ABC, NBC, and CBS. In this day, it may be, I would imagine, on all the cable television channels. One would hope. C-SPAN apparently is now like they've hired a shooter from like MTV in 1993, and as you can see, everybody's surrounding these guys. Everybody needs their picture. I don't know why they can't just do a pool picture, but that's just the way it is. There's all the reporters there on their computers. Okay, everybody's sitting down now, so we're gonna get rolling with this. Like I say, the Democrats are insisting on having doing this up front, like having all the good stuff up in the first hour. I don't know if they're going to go back and forth to both witnesses simultaneously. It sort of appears that way. The lawyer who's going to be working for the Democrats is a guy named Goldman. He is a former mob prosecutor. Apropos, it seems to me. And Schiff is about to begin.
The committee will come to order. Good morning, everyone. This is the first in a series of public hearings the committee will be holding as part of the House's impeachment inquiry. Without objection, the chair is authorized to declare a recess of the committee at any time. There is a quorum present. Here's how the committee will proceed for this hearing. I will make an opening statement, and then Ranking Member Nunes will have the opportunity to make a statement. Then we will go to witness statements and then to questions. For audience members, we welcome you, and we respect your interest in being here. In turn, we ask for your respect as we proceed with today's hearing.
Mr. Chairman.
It is the intention of the committee to proceed without disruptions.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a parliamentary inquiry?
Chairman will state the inquiry.
Mr. Chairman, this is our first hearing under these new set of rules. House Resolution 660 gives you the discretion to allow yourself and the ranking member periods of extended questions of up to 45 minutes each before other members are allowed to ask questions. If possible, we'd like to know the rules of engagement before we get started. Have you made a decision yet as to how many 45-minute rounds you will allow yourself and the ranking member?
I have not. As we informed the minority yesterday, we will see how the first period goes and how much material we're able to get through. At that point, the chair will announce the period, if there is a period of the second round, which may be up to 45 minutes, or we'll go straight to 5-minute questions by members. For audience members, again, we welcome you and your interest. In turn, we expect and will insist on decorum in the committee. As chairman, I'll take all necessary and appropriate steps to maintain order and ensure the committee is run in accordance with House rules and House Resolution 660. With that, I now recognize myself to give an opening statement in the impeachment inquiry into Donald J. Trump, the 45th President of the United States. In 2014, Russia invaded the United States ally, Ukraine, to reverse that nation's embrace of the West and to fulfill Vladimir Putin's desire to rebuild a Russian empire. In the following years, 14,000 Ukrainians died as they battled superior Russian forces. Earlier this year, Vladimir Zelensky was elected president of Ukraine on a platform of ending the conflict and tackling corruption. He was a newcomer to politics and immediately sought to establish a relationship with Ukraine's most powerful patron, the United States. The questions presented by this impeachment inquiry are whether President Trump sought to exploit that ally's vulnerability and invite Ukraine's interference in our elections, whether President Trump sought to condition official acts, such as a White House meeting or U.S. military assistance, on Ukraine's willingness to assist with 2 political investigations that would help his re-election campaign. And if President Trump did either, whether such an abuse of his power is compatible with the office of the presidency. The matter is as simple and as terrible as that. Our answer to these questions will affect not only the future of this presidency, but the future of the presidency itself, and what kind of conduct or misconduct the American people may come to expect from their commander-in-chief. There are few actions as consequential as the impeachment of a president. While the founders did not intend that impeachment be employed for mere differences over policy, they also made impeachment a constitutional process that the Congress must utilize as necessary. The facts in the present inquiry are not seriously contested. Beginning in January of this year, the president's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, pressed Ukrainian authorities to investigate Burisma, the country's largest national gas producer, and the Bidens, since Vice President Joe Biden was seen as a strong potential challenger to Trump. Giuliani also promoted a debunked conspiracy that it was Ukraine, not Russia, that hacked the 2016 U.S. election. The nation's intelligence agencies have stated unequivocally that it was Russia, not Ukraine, that interfered in our election. But Giuliani believed this conspiracy theory, referred to as CrowdStrike, shorthand for the company that discovered the Russian hack, would aid his client's re-election. Giuliani also conducted a smear campaign against the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch. On April 29, a senior State Department official told her that although she had done nothing wrong, President Trump had lost confidence in her. With the sidelining of Yovanovitch, the stage was set for the establishment of an irregular channel in which Giuliani and later others, including Gordon Sondland, an influential donor to the president's inauguration, now serving as ambassador to the European Union, could advance the president's personal and political interests. Yovanovitch's replacement in Kiev, Ambassador Bill Taylor, is a West Point graduate and a Vietnam veteran. As he began to better understand the scheme through the summer of 2019, he pushed back, informing Deputy Assistant Secretary Kent and others about a plan to condition U.S. government actions and funding on the performance of political favors by the Ukrainian government, favors intended for President Trump that would undermine our security and our elections. Several key events in this scheme took place in the